Tiene el récord, corre la mira de Aspas y Tex por ahora consigue la primera eliminación, la segunda también, la tercera va en busca de eso, quedan solamente 2 balas. ¡Ay, la paranoia no conectaba!
Second one, shot crowd swings out. That's a 2 for 1. Now the tap on his fly. Gets the ace to get the extra innings.
Here with the coach Leviatán, Ito Pata. You stole 100 Thieves' classic bind away from them in pretty dominant fashion. Obviously, we saw lots of hero plays, but I was talking to Comm earlier today, and he was telling me how he just feels so confident he's able to be himself. You know, working with the boys now, how confident are you in them, and why are you confident in them?
I'm pretty confident. As you see, we're playing really good, and I think that's the main part. I feel like everyone understands how we want to play, and because we're able to replicate it in the server, I feel like everyone is super confident. They're playing together. They're peaking with confidence, and that's one of the most important things in this game.
When you say how you want to play, what do you mean by how?
Like our game plans, our play style in general. I feel like right now we understand it way better on how we want to play, and that's why everyone is so much more confident.
All right, best luck on map 2.
Leviatán managed to pick up the win on Bind against 100 Thieves, a map that they have certainly had a lot of success in the past, but this time around it'd be Leviatán's day. This is their map, at the very least in this series here. Welcome back, everyone. You got Athena, Mimi, and Enders. We break down what we saw in map number 1, and honestly, I mean, you know, Ender, you were kind of cooking, buddy. You know, you talk about the individuals, you know?
I mean, like, genuinely, Leviatán is a team where if you don't do, like, the basics perfect, they're gonna beat you, right? If you have holes in your set pieces or anything like this, if you're weak in your openings, right? Because Leviatán do such a good job of setting up Ospas to get early kills. And then again, even when you have a numbers advantage, like this round is a perfect example of the spacing 1 by 1 coming through that Viper's wall.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter they sent a Dizzy because King is snapping up to break that before he gets those next 3 kills.
Yeah, it's literally one gap in how you're scaling, how you're trading, and one of these players is going to get a multi-kill. 7 rounds where a player from Lev was getting multiple kills in 1 round.
Wow.
I think a lot of that was coming from the defense where these anchors were eating 100 Thieves up. That's their win condition. They hit it. And for 100 Thieves, I mean, this was a struggle compared to what we've seen in the past. I feel like they were leaning really heavily into their structured plans, and when that was failing, they were just kind of falling apart.
Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit off screen where we said that their defaults were just so slow, and every time they did manage to get any of those first bloods, they were not able to capitalize off of anything. Even their retakes on these post plants were just so slow. They had to take their time to coordinate their plans, and every single time it just felt like they just took so long, and Lev abused that.
Yeah, and Lev, I mean, you heard it from the coach earlier. He's really focusing on making this a more proactive Lev that's taking the right risks, taking the right timings. I think they did actually a really good job on their defensive side of being disruptive, fighting forward, and stopping 100 Thieves from just going for these set retakes, which is a big part of why they won this map.
Yeah, well, now that 100 Thieves is down a deficit here, 1-0 in the series. Let's go ahead, jump over to the other side of the stage. Hear what Coach Zikz has to say ahead of map 2.
Here with Coach Zikz of 100 Thieves. It's not often we see buy-in stolen from you, but we did see that map pick stolen from you. I talked to Boosie earlier today, and I asked what went wrong last game, and he said we were sloppy, we were too aggressive. What went wrong this time?
I mean, to be candid, we're definitely like in a bit of like a slump period. And I'd say we've definitely started turning it around the last like 2 days of practice. And I think basically like the way that it works is like you actively think about something or you passively think about it. Our team play used to be so passive that everybody's just doing it super naturally. But I guess maybe confidence was a factor. But because of how confident we were, now we have to kind of focus more team play again because we started focusing more individually. So we've been kind of going through that phase, but I do think that today had a lot of really good signs despite you know, how our attack half looked. There's some bad rounds, obviously. But there's a lot of good signs and things that I'm looking at that I see are like, obviously, like we're fighting well together throughout the match. Like Peter was jumping and entering really well for the team. So those are things that I'm looking at that are like really good signs going into the next, you know, this next map, the matches to come. All I'm interested in is playing good Valorant. And I think the back half showed that we're here to play some good Valorant, but first half did not show that. So we'll see if we can carry it over into Haven.
Well, always appreciate your candor and best of luck on map 2.
And that kind of aligns with what we were talking about before with this 100 Thieves team. You know, I did like that passive to active thought process, right? Like some things were instinctive for this 100 Thieves lineup, Ender, but now you're starting to see that become a bit more difficult for them to put together in some of these rounds.
Sure, and I think like that interview was very candid. I think Zikz usually gives like pretty open interviews in that regard, and I would say that it's also very easy when you have like a focus on something that you're working on for other things to fall apart, right? So if they're focused on, you know, like training together, fighting together, stuff like this, maybe they are taking more time actually getting into a site, etc., like you were sort of alluding to.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I guess it is that we saw, but that being said, this was their pick, so I feel like for me, from my perspective, it should be a lot more fleshed out, that you don't need to take that much time in order to kind of set yourself up for success.
It is an interesting contrast, though, because I feel like Leviatán in that map was playing very cerebral Valorant, right? Like, every one of these players, seemingly, when they see a timing and opportunity, they're swinging together, they're fighting together. We see 100 Thieves going back into that same comp on Haven we saw last time with the KO. The question, what is Lev gonna play? Does Aspas lock the Jet, or do we get something
Wait
cool?
for it, wait for it. We got the neon, baby, it's in there.
Okay, that is exciting. I want to see what he can do with
Aspas
this.
honestly has something to prove here. The last time we saw him actively playing Neon was Masters Tokyo way back last year. I think this is a great comp on this map, but we haven't seen him on the Agent in a long time, and he's got to be great. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, indeed it is. Is 100 Thieves going to bounce back, force this map 3? Let's go ahead and find out. Send it over to your casters one more time. Brandon Sideshow.
Certainly about to find out here. Heading over towards Haven. Definitely a map I've missed, man. And as well, we're seeing already, you know, the meta changes in effect. Neon being played quite a bit. Not too much change in terms of the initiators, but, you know, Neon, you know, making that return. I suppose, you know, teams dabbled in it in the past, at least trying to play it Optic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Way back. But now, you know, front and center, a lot of teams just making it a priority.
And Furia certainly did. That was one of the big reasons that they were able to beat 100 Thieves on Haven, was running this Neon Breach idea, though they paired it with a Gecko Killjoy. So slightly different, but the same theme of setting up that primary duelist, and Aspas, all eyes are going to be on him as to what he can do, especially on the pistol, where it looks like he's going walkabouts down mid.
I thought they were going to feign like they were taking that A lobby control, the quick little fault line across the board, but just making sure they face it together, break the turret nice and early.
Yeah, and that puts a lot of fear in 100 Thieves that there could be somebody deep down. They do a decent job of clearing it fairly quickly. And it looks like they want to pivot into a B hit.
Yeah, all walking up. 2 players to meet them. It's going to be King and Aspas up through the back here, and they're just walking right into his crosshair. Placement's there. Bit of a glide as well. Disengage, but just decides to take the fight straight up. Wants to try and at least stop them before they can even get the plant down, and he's done just that. EU left alone here. Right click, doing a bit of damage, but position's known. Picks up the upgrade. 4 bullets though. Not a lot to work with, and tap goes the Ghost. Tex finally sniffs him out, hunts him down.
Another 3K from a player from Leviatán. They're 8th in the match. Aspas doing a great job here. The desk wondering how he would be able to perform on Neon. And looking pretty good so far. I mean, Aspas is pretty happy taking duels against people when they're not stunned. Imagine how unfair it is when he's swinging you and you've been concussed. Not going to feel great. He's going to pick up a Vandal round 2 as well.
Yeah, he's feeling it.
It's just unfair.
Top form for Aspas.
There.
Almost predicting as well that they're going to be trying to farm up these orbs. To dart. And they use it here with a fault line. No spam in sight though. It's a little bit delayed.
But for 100 Thieves, I mean, unless you're going to farm up Asana's ultimate, there aren't really huge ults that you use to, like, get deep onto a site. Comm faking, baiting somebody into punishing him by tapping that ult orb, and then getting the punish on Bang. Nice play. And he's drawn the other 2 players of his team in to defend the A site. Looking good here, Lev, in terms of their defensive protocols and rotates. I think 100 Thieves are a little behind the meta, trying to run Sova and the KO on this map. But I think that comes back to a wider discussion with 100 Thieves. If you wanted to run a Neon, it probably wouldn't be Cryo. And then it means you have to shuffle around all of the roles. Do you want Cryo to play smokes? If so, what's Bang playing? You're probably not going to play the Neon with the double smokes.
It's good damage done to Tex here, but okay. Pistol of their own with the classics and the right clicks. Shouldn't be too much danger in for this round. Definitely doing a lot of damage there towards the end by EU, but overall, put the focus on Lev for a moment here. I feel like, scriptwriter's getting lazy, still in the same storylines that we had for them. The rejuvenation that this team's had. In stage one, it was like a bit of a slow beginning, questions circling around this team. Are they really a super team? Then they started beating a lot of top contenders. Looked really good. Kind of seen them off to a very strong start after a sloppy Shanghai performance. And honestly, I'm pretty surprised. They were handed the easy win versus MIBR to a degree, playing with 2 substitutes.
Yeah, and you couldn't really tell from that game whether Lev had recovered their form and were looking better, but I've been impressed with what I've seen so far. And here they come on the
and a lot of variation. Yeah, this is the bonus round strategy. They're going for that A crunch in straight through the ball. Bang! Cuts it up onto the tight angle here, but Mazzino follows through in the end.
It's just great.
These ideas, many layers to it as well. Cooked up especially for the bonus round. What a time to do it.
The Neon just pairs so perfectly with the double initiator because you're able to follow up on that utility instantly. It doesn't matter how far the distance is.
I got the spike.
Bang is pressured super heavily by that aftershock. Recon out as well. Stun. And then you've got Aspas barreling towards you. Boostio left to pick up the pieces in a 1v3.
Good luck to him. Have to be a hell of a clutch. Slight bit of noise made. It's going to be spotted by the cam.
Wow, my eyes are down.
One problem removed. 40 seconds to work with. Time going to start to get whittled down. Not making it easy for him, are they?
30 seconds left.
No, he's found a little bit of an opportunity if he wanted to take this over towards A.
Fault line's up though. Force him off the plant. Shot dart, not sure where that one's going. Maybe a bit of a distraction play, but discipline reigns supreme. Lev win out their bonus.
It's a great strategy from Leviatán. And they caught 100 Thieves perfectly. So, I mean, a lot of the time when you're going to run some kind of crunch on an area of the map, there is a little bit of luck involved. Do 100 Thieves actually commit to fighting for A long in a round like that?
Oh, there you go.
Caught them perfectly. And as Mimi was talking about on the desk, it's been a long time since we saw Aspas play Neon. He's not famed for it. But at the moment, Neon just looks so powerful. And Aspas, even when he plays Jet, is known for his movement of stringing things together.
That's a difficult one, though. Surely doesn't get out alive. Mazzino covering fire. And an auto offloaded. EU.
A second triple kill back-to-back from Mazzino. Got one on the bonus round and then cleans up for Aspas. Quick shutdown. And Aspas takes the opener, takes the closer at the other side of C-Long.
He's on fire. I mean, the scoreboard was brought up briefly for a moment, but 7-2. He's carried it with the momentum straight from map 1.
But I'll tell you what's more impressive to me. A lot of the focus is going to be on Aspas because he's an extraordinary player. And he's been playing extraordinarily well. But I'm more impressed today with what King and Mazzino are doing. Because they're the supportive elements who are stepping up and making this feel more like a super team rather than just a superstar.
I hard agree.
And I think that's a big difference when it comes to Leviatán, is whether all of the pieces on this roster are actually pulling their weight.
I mean, is Lev not winning maps because Aspas goes nuclear? He drops 30 where it feels like him versus the world.
Yeah.
Finally, the pieces are clicking for the team.
Yeah, he's got some help.
Sport of elements. And you've seen the panic button hit very early on here by 100 Thieves. I think that's understandable. EU whipping out the ult there on a round that they really didn't have much of a chance to win.
Yeah,
Economy was half by and everybody had fallen.
Yeah, they have been trying to put orbs into EU. That was the player that was going around picking up ult orbs. But not the highest value of being able to turn that one around. This timeout, though, I'm not sure really what they're going to be discussing.
Yeah, what you correct?
The bonus round was just a set play from Leviatán, not one that they're going to be running.
Lev have been adjusting their setup almost every round too.
They have. And this is another situation where they do it again. So going for a fast push down C-Long, the idea here being to drive 100 Thieves into A, where Comm and Tex can potentially get some cheaper kills on people with recons and trips.
Just running it straight down, and there it is. Util to support him. Oh, popped off.
100 Thieves, though, not taking the faster protocol, reacting into A, instead holding their ground, waiting, knowing that even though they've given up C-Long control here, they don't want to be driven into the strong site for Lev.
Not losing that composure. Nice jump spot from Comm, though. It's good information for the mid-round. Early there into the minute mark of the round, but...
And throughout all of this, Aspas, all of that early pressure with the fault line and the paranoia has got him posted up on a pretty good angle with the Outlaw.
That's the important one.
It's a pretty common angle.
Faced up. Perfect head height. No jump spot.
You could see there that Cryo knew he was going to be posted in that spot. Swung it to try to take the duel, but Aspas faster on the trigger.
Too quick with it. Not being tacked up as well. We'll have to respect this surely with the util coming through. There's a slight gap in the defensive protocols. Boostio can he weave himself in and potentially salvage this entire operation. It's a game of timings right through the back, and he delivers the dagger straight there, right when his team needed it. 100 Thieves might be able to get themselves into this one, but with the Rolling Thunder, things are going to make that much more tricky. Aftershock laid it all up, along with the fault line, touched themselves deep into the corner. Still with the flash. No more options here for 100 Thieves. I mean, Team Blind matters not. They know exactly where these players are.
And it was a pretty devastating beginning to Bind. 100 Thieves tried to claw it back in a bit of a comeback. It's another bad start for them here on Haven. Once more, the Neon Breach compositions ripping through what 100 Thieves are bringing to the table. And the Neon and the Breach both up towards the top. Mazzino's done an amazing job of following up on all of the space that Aspas gives. It's looking clean here, the game plan from Lev. And Comm fired up. You can hear him there, gassing the team up.
I love that.
And just completely different to how dejected he was at the end of their Shanghai run.
That's right. I mean, Comm, when I think of this guy, I think of him as a team player, system player. And Lev were looking shaky in that aspect. Most of this year, you know, when we were attributing a lot of the wins to this guy that we're watching, Aspas. Still with the Outlaw in his hands. He's against the half armor, so he's still going to be cleaning up. Of course, he is still. Tucked to the corner here, has to use the wall. A bit of bullets fired over the shoulder, just to support. But now that you're seeing the system come together, pieces falling into place for Leviatán, it allows players like Comm to really shine.
Yeah, he hasn't had the most moments today, but I think certainly other players on the team like Mazzino and King are finding their spots.
Yeah, for sure.
And I would imagine it's only a matter of time until we see big stuff from Comm coming back if the Lev system is working. Boostio is really trying to find these timings around the rest of the map, and 100 Thieves have got a plan here. There's that timing. 100 Thieves trying to find through the smoke. Worth a risk being taken in a round like this. They were down a player, down weaponry.
A lot going to be asked to Cryo, though, in this spot. Even with this, util has been dodged and avoided, but the jump through. Everybody not able to really get a clean shot at any of the Leviatán players. Able to barrel their way through the main choke point.
And how difficult is it going to be for 100 Thieves to play post plants when you're up against fault line? 2 flashes that Mazzino didn't even have to use. A paranoia coming at you as well. Recon is going to be fired out. Like, there's just so much utility there for you to try to navigate.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
6-0. Dominant beginning here on Haven for Lev. And 100 Thieves, they get rifles back online. Another opportunity to have a crack at this and at least put 1 on the board. Asana's ultimate could be the difference maker, perhaps. It will stop Aspas's legs from working. You know, maybe you can get him.
I mean, he can still shoot, though.
He certainly
That's the problem. That is the problem. This guy popping off. White hot in terms of the form. You can hear that one with the drone. Straight up the gut into the B site. Along with it, Asana just hops himself into position here, at least for this plant answer. Again, 100 Thieves able to get themselves into the post plant. It's been rare so far onto the attack side. Flank attempt by Boostio, wrapping around, just about spotting it. And where does he take the timing? This is a risk to be played, but it needs to pay off big time. Still, King unaware. The paranoia sent flying forwards. Aspas unable to return, at least with the bullet. Still there. It's aware that Boostio is going to be that problem. Dart in his face, finally cleaned up. Now they can finally get a handle onto this retake here, but it's the best chance that 100 Thieves have had in a long while. Swapping around the guns. Aspas is fast into the fray. Cryo is going to be that piece of bait. Just offered up onto the front section of the side, but it's all about the post plan and how it's played here and now. Collecting up together, beaming them down with the rifles. 100 Thieves finally putting a board, at least a round on the board at least, excuse me.
Desperately important because they were at risk of being ecoed again there. So 6-1. Boostio found another great timing here through C. Nullcommand tucked down all of Tex's tripwires. And Boostio, he keeps trying to find these lurks. He's been fairly successful with it overall as well, and this time put his team in a spot where they could win that post plan. On Bind, they could barely get the plants down.
Well, here's a set play. Hunter's Fury to try and set this one up as well. It's that the dart. Completely outlined EU's position. Bang with a cancel.
Whoa,
they wanted to commit it.
They were baiting him in there as well. Tex and Comm definitely knew he was behind. They're just trying not to give it away and then 180 flick onto him if he commits.
Placing swamp grenade.
Play it down though, in terms of this scenario. Boostio committing that one. Locked down into the corner. Taking a tremendous amount of damage. And now the Swarm just cutting him up. Placed down at the feet. And that's fast disrespect being shown. Sky is going to pay for it with his life, but he would have been detained anyway. Makes a go of things here. Trip's still up and active. No one's really playing up with it, and Boostio's just wandering around aimlessly.
They feel like they have to make a play. The plant hasn't even been committed.
And Bang finally commits. In through the back here. Play has been made. Stepping up to the challenge. Paranoia at least buys them a little bit of that space here, but still,
they don't know where King is.
Man. They don't know where King is. Reposition, looking in the wrong place and wrong time. Leave it to Cryo now. 1v2. At least finally the plant online for them. But Lev can just take their sweet time with this one, make sure that they can try and double up. At least play this one closely together. King's gonna be blocked off from them. Still has the util in his back pocket. Holding and posturing, I think, for that paranoia as well. Is gonna be potentially using it. Finally comes through. Now a bit of time. Working against them potentially with the dart. It goes a miss, but finally, at least with the tag, Cryo pre-aim, it is there, still there! And King, fast up onto the line of sight angle.
What a round from King. Omen ultimate scattered the brains of 100 Thieves. They had no idea where he was playing. Thought that he was over towards Garage. And King just creeps up from C-Long and wins the 1v1. A set play to open. 100 Thieves forced to use the lockdown even to get into a plant position. Boostio tries to make the play. He keeps trying to be a playmaker for the team, but had very mixed bag of results. And in the meantime, the kind of bread and butter of 100 Thieves composition where you should be trying to set up the jet, that aspect seems to have gone out the window. Cryo ends that round 2 for 8. He just hasn't been able to be set up in these spots. He's almost a distraction for the Boostio lurks, and here's another set play with a great shot from Asna.
That is. Straight to the dome.
It is so hard to hit the Neons when they're going that quickly and sliding.
Re-exploration by Mazzino. It's definitely risky, man. You're up against a half-buy here, but a rifle upgrade obtained. Pass that one off to the rest of his team as well. Still have the Blade Storm to work with for Cryo. Hold the ground down. Even this repush, man, doubled up. I mean, Mazzino and Tex. Is this even going to be expected? 100 Thieves. Still holding. Tex, there's no way, man! Gets away with murder! Smoke fades away in their faces. Surely you'd think 100 Thieves would have a handle on that. Element of surprise, they're working out in their favor. Fault line into the corner. That's Boostio seeking to evade. All of it coming his way. Boostio will fall. Bang! Finally. It's turning up.
I have the
How's that rifle? Reload inside, potentially a wing con into the round. It's a 1v2. Taps the orb, baits the face, but loses the fight out in the end. King, another one on the board for his team.
And another example of the monstrous performances we're getting today out of Mazzino and King. They're side by side with Aspas. That's a great opener for Asna. But in the end, the economy not quite there, and Tex doing a great job of putting additional pressure down C-Long. The 100 Thieves players not finding their moments as often as Lev, and Lev are always in control of the tempo. This Neon just sets the pace.
Yeah, they're so proactive. There's no moment of rest here for 100 Thieves.
On their attacking defaults, 100 Thieves are forced to be as passive as they were on Bind, just so that they don't fall into something quick.
Always something being thrown into the mix.
Can they finally set up Cryo to do some kind of entrying for them in round 10?
Tiniest of angles that Aspas has to work with. He's just waiting, hoping, fingers crossed that somebody's going to be walking right into it. Shock Dad, ice cold, doesn't budge, doesn't move an inch.
His reflexes up. Supernatural.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, we can see when they're about to peak. He can't. Has to be reactions. Comm now. Hearing it. Roar and Stampede. Plenty of players now looking to make their mark over towards this side here. Tucks to the corner. It's a dart. Pushed off. Shock dart doing good damage. Still with a paranoia. Sweeping through. But Comm just was blinded up or something. Not too sure. Mazzino can't stand it. He's not into the anchoring position. Anchor. He's Aspas here with the operator in his hands. Now this retake going to be made that much more difficult. And the 100 Thieves into the post plant. One of the first times they've really been set up for that success.
Finally, it's round 10. Before they get into a good position, Cryo still falls a 3v3.
It's magnetic. Texas spotted it. There's no way they're crumbling like this. Asuna, at least there. No way, man. I was holding my breath for the moment. Surely it doesn't fall like that, but 100 Thieves, they just can't hold on to it.
Leviatán didn't even have a big coordinated retake there. They just slowly posted up on angles and found 100 Thieves isolated one by one.
Yeah.
EU even had his ult to play off and decided he needed to help the team and see if he could trade somebody out. It's very difficult to win with just your Hunter's Fury in a 1v2.
I mean, Tex was so free in heaven here.
Yeah, this is the first time, honestly, that they've even got into a nice position like this. And it just utterly crumbles. 9-1. I'm worried, I'm very worried about the fact that Zikz in the map-to-map interviews was talking about being in a slump and just wanting to see some good Valorant.
Yeah, he's very candid.
He is, and I appreciate that. I really do. I love the honesty. But it still makes me worried for 100 Thieves because their record is 3-4. I mean, sorry, 3-3. But looking like it could go 3-4 if Leviatán closed this one out.
Yeah, and that's a problem.
That's a big issue for them because the teams that they're coming up against, they're no slouches.
Yeah, I mean, he might be able to get an easy one against MIBR coming up next, but then he got EG and Loud.
Yeah.
And essentially, if you lose this series, you have to be perfect against them. Is really what it boils down to. There's still a chance. If you get 5 wins, you might be in. Listen, the math's
slim.
Ignore the numbers. Just trust us on this one. It would really most likely have to be that perfection from here on out if they lose that series. So just makes the road to playoffs that much more difficult if they end up going down the series here and now.
And think about it, the less wins you get, the less championship points you accrue in. So even though 100 Thieves are still up towards the top of the table, they might end up losing out to a team like Sentinels, and if Sen bomb during playoffs, 100 Thieves will be kicked out. They need to find a way to turn this around. And whether or not it happens here on Haven, again, just coming back to what Zikz said, you need to see some better Valorant being played.
100 Thieves trying to go fast and loose into this one here, but there's a stack of players all ready and waiting. Odin spam away. Comm, no connections. No real damage done here, but how do you deal with these players here? Dart, it's going to be broken. Paranoia, bit of a team flash, but reveals them all, and finally allows a timed strike for Tex. Bang! He's with the Guardian. There's some precision there, but he utilized in his hands. Caught unaware.
I'm so impressed with these defensive setups from Lev.
It's always changing.
Yeah, they had Aftershock there to kind of hurry the players through their garage play. That one's at your back. You feel incentivized to commit to the C site. And once you get there, you're blinded up, running into trips, smoke in the middle. At no point can 100 Thieves just pause and retain some control over the pace of the game. Even when Leviatán are allowing the play to come to them, they're still forcing the action, increasing the tempo and making it uncomfortable for 100 Thieves. Looking quite similar to the pistol round setup here, but Aspas, it's slightly better than a pistol in hand.
Yeah, just the off. A little bit better. Break the turret into mid, put a bit of fear into the hearts of 100 Thieves if they haven't already. Just from that scoreline sitting at the top.
And the cam that Tex has posted over towards C right now just tells them everything about Garage. Lev are super happy to stack over towards A.
Slowed down. It's the last round here. You've got to make it count here for 100 Thieves. Do have the ults to work with. Drone being used to support. Smoke to crossover. Fault line. It's a knife dodged and avoided here. The dart over the top. That's Comm. Send that one a little bit early. Has been baited out by 100 Thieves. Could be the second wave of things now with the no command. And there it is. Sends it flying. At least the paranoia was primed by King. And it's just these little pieces and tools being used to slow them down. The anchoring players might be in a world of cryo adjust. Comm Tucked to the corner, Hunter's Fury is the extra thing needed. The cherry on top, and 100 Thieves now just need to sail it home, but already flooding in. Levin not giving them a time to catch their breath, not in the slightest. Playing forwards and into the smoke, and away! King is trapped inside of it. Cryo, he's done so much for this team, and finally, with the 4 kills in a round, maybe there's a lifeline.
Switching sides.
Eventually, Cryo finds his value. Very quiet across Bind, but doubles his kills there towards the end to sit at 7.5. Overall, though, the story of this first half has got to be almost perfection from Lev. The setups all working beautifully, winning retakes that they honestly have no right to. And that trio of Aspas, King, and Mazzino combining together to exert their will upon the game.
Absolutely at the top of the scoreboard for them. Well, let's send it down to Liz down at the streamer booth.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I am here with Leviatán Safiro, who has an insane chat, who's super hype. It's just insane. The question I have to ask you first is, since you've played professionally, I have to get your read on the Aspas Neon on Haven. What are your thoughts on that?
Bueno, en español, he jugado profesional hace bastante realmente y creo que lo que puedo opinar de Aspas es creo que lo que concuerda muchísima gente. Para mí es el mejor jugador del mundo, es un jugador súper completo, tiene buen aim, siento que se mueve muy bien adentro del mapa y sin dudas ninguna es un jugador que le des a la gente que le des la va a romper porque es increíble.
Yeah, he says Aspas, you know, he's one of the best players in the world. Many other people share this opinion, and you know, his aim is great, his movement around the map is great, and Les and other people have praised him as well.
Now, since you played professionally, what is easier, watching your org play or playing for your org down there?
No, 100% mirarlo, porque cuando estás jugando tenés una presión encima que cuando en realidad lo ves jugar no la tenés. Entonces jugar es 100% te agrega una presión innecesaria que creo que querés dejar conforme a todo el mundo y a veces es muy difícil.
Yeah, he says that for him, it's really easier watching because when you're playing, you're in these really intense moments and it really puts a lot of pressure on you. So no doubt, like, watching is easier.
All right, last question. You flew here to come watch every single game. There's someone in the crowd that flew 2,000 miles to see Aspas play. Talk to me about the Leviatán community and what it's like being a part of it.
La comunidad de Valorant es algo que al tener gente de diversos países y de muchos lados creo que se agrandó bastante. Es lindo tener a un campeón del mundo, 2 campeones del mundo de hecho, entonces creo que hay gente de Norteamérica que nos banca, hay gente de Brasil que nos banca y también por supuesto de Latinoamérica por King y Mazzino, entonces creo que es realmente una comunidad muy amplia en la que todos son bienvenidos y casi siempre, de hecho siempre todos tratan bien a todos.
You know, the Leviatán community is incredibly diverse. You know, we have people from all over because obviously, you know, we have 2 world champs. North America, Brazil, it's, you know, we have a lot of fans from everywhere and, you know, everyone treats each other well in the community.
Well, speaking of community, you have a game to watch, so let's head back to the game.
Yeah, 2,000 miles, a hell of a time. I mean, Josh, you're a super fan, man. You travel 5,000 to see Aspas play. Guy's his biggest fan.
That's true. I'd travel 5,000 miles to see anyone in America's play.
He's that much of a fan.
Yeah. I just don't want to go over to EMEA and have to watch Narvin.
Yeah, no, I mean...
In this game, right, I really feel like that defense side is going to inspire so much confidence back into how Leviatán have approached stage 2. Whether the credit goes towards King or Idapata or whatever it is, Lev just look utterly rejuvenated, and their defense side setups looking very reminiscent of when they played against NRG on Sunset and utterly crushed them there so long ago.
Yeah, a while ago, but very well drilled.
We might not even get to see much of this attack side. It would have to be pretty impeccable from 100 Thieves. Lev grouping up, taking A-long control very easily here.
Never say never, but begins with the pistol round with Cryo falling early. Less likely. Texas the one as well, taking that contact, just makes it feel like it's not even potentially leaning A.
Exactly.
Just a Cypher player that's spotted. Footstep heard. Asner out wide, just trying to throw that util to set up the play. And it's just a little bit too obvious, I think. Cooked up, timing misfired there from 100 Thieves, just trying to offset that disadvantage. And again, an open plan here for Leviatán. Almost unlosable into the post plan.
2v5. Only with classics. They still do have Flash Recon to play with, but it would have to catch onto everyone for there to be a chance.
Cover going out. Mistakes need to be made here by the left players. Paranoia is good, at least spotting and isolating out these players. Still Mazzino is quick with it. Fast around the corner and straight through the wall. X's mark known. Up to 11. Pissed around win for Lev.
Good coverage. Really nicely done there, because the flash recon, it was fairly effective. So when King calls attack sides with this Sova Breach composition on Haven, it's been his MO the entire time to work around recon timings. And this time again, Comm uses a recon for map control at the start, and 40 seconds later, 55 seconds on the clock, they go for the exec as soon as the recon comes back online. It is readable. If Boostio can get an idea of those timings, he can find those mid-round gaps. But if Cryo's going to lose the duel anyway, then it's going to be rough. 100 Thieves, they are forced to force. They're down 11-2. And this is looking like it could be the decider map.
Has to be that investment. Pre-firing onto just two of the angles. Bang, just couldn't retreat in time. It's dropped and slow and steady as it goes here for Lev.
Yeah, and this time looking to try to increase the tempo. Popping way before the minute mark, not using that fault line or recon dart at the start. And 100 Thieves are going to be forced to run a retake where they have no smoke for the spike, no paranoia to work with either. It's so tough.
That's really rough. You could just play this all the way from the long angle. If they so wish, not really giving up that backside control though. That's forwards, along with that flash.
Good flash
broken. It is actually. It's nice with the peek. Boostio, at least dropping Mazzino. Finds another one. They can't deal with him. This guy is more than pesky. The IGL put matters into his own hands. The combined might of the team, they find that advantage.
Okay, that's what you need to be seeing for 100 Thieves to bring something back here. Perfect coordination on the flash recon dart. No way you're breaking that one. Really well timed between EU and Asuna. And then Boostio continuing to apply that pressure. No one from left could take him out.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff.
Peak timing off of all that util. Yeah, it's perfect.
One down.
Well, ADS, man. Yeah, running rampant into the round, but maybe, just maybe, there's a possibility. Slimmest of margins to work with, but 100 Thieves are probably going to take it.
There's just been so many individual moments from Lev over the course of this match. And so many thrifties, actually, for both teams across Bind. It feels very unlikely that 100 Thieves would be able to make the run back from 3-11 down, but never say never.
Yeah, we've seen crazier stuff.
I haven't seen much crazier stuff.
No? From 3-11? Seen just a one. Boostio, Guardian.
Bomb grenade out.
Just tapping them, picking them apart. Under that, swarms as well. Order shots fired and a wrap around. Clean anti-eco.
Very clean. EU one away from getting his ult online, which could be devastating for Lev as they try to get step back up with rifles in hand. Lev often have these kind of setups where they look immaculate on defense and can't quite get things across the line just as cleanly on their attack side. They seem like a very prep-based team in terms of they're at their best when they have real drilled setups that they can run and rotate through them. And now the onus is on King to push them across the line with his calling. Again here, pay attention to these fault line and recon dart timings used at the very beginning of the round from Lev, so the back 40 seconds later. Again, that's the kind of timing that King likes to call.
Right there.
And so that also means that 100 Thieves can try to get aggressive in these kind of moments because Lev slows it, they slow it right down. Once they take that initial piece of map control over towards long, they don't tend to go aggressive until the recon and stun are back.
Not sure where that shot out landed, but heard it fired off somewhere.
So 10 seconds here until those pieces of utility are back online. And if I was 100 Thieves, I would be anticipating this to potentially be ending A within the next 10 seconds. And if not, then maybe you go on a fact-finding mission.
The util 4, but the flash, that's going to indicate quite a lot. Nade has to be dropped down at the feet to try and prevent them from getting in, but it's the slightest of gaps, at least with the wall up as well. Flash rebounds again, just overhead, lobbing it backwards and forwards. Definitely putting a bit of a pause into the step of Leviatán. Struggling to get themselves in. Great supportive util. Asuna has allowed that angle to play in. King. That is just, okay, egregious is the word I'll use. Just running and gunning back and away. Mazzino can get this plant.
Bang had a phenomenal paranoia last time they went for the retake. Almost made it work.
3v3. Gonna be holding it. Lessons learned from Lev. They're not playing into those similar positions and angles, but now released down by the heaven angle. Out, down, through. Hell! Oh, they all topple.
You can't be letting that happen. The 12th on the board for Mazzino. He was caught. Dead to rights by the paranoia. Nearsighted gets 2. Leviatán did commit, but it was more of a staggered push off the back of the recon dart. So the timing is again on that kind of predictable flowchart call from King, but they very cautiously approached that one, knowing that 100 Thieves had stacked the site. They're up to match point. 8 chances to close out. Almost impossible for 100 Thieves. But at least I want to see something more from them. More like that retake that we saw over towards C. Just some better Valorant being played.
Yeah, show us that something's been cooking.
I mean, it would be nice to see them win a map after coming back from Shanghai. Yet to see that. It doesn't look like it's going to be on the cards today.
Under the high ground, rolling funded. It's a hard middle. Boostio tries to step himself in front of it and away, but it's returned straight back. Aspas trying to hunt him out. In through the back of the side, flashes, dodge Aspas! This guy, he can't be stopped. The rest of his team alongside him. It's brutal to watch. Ripping straight through on the 100 Thieves. Dominated. Worked in the neutral. A 2-0 victory for Leviatán.
And as I said earlier, I think that's got to put so much confidence back into the Lev side, the Lev fans, the community in general over in Americas. The record going up to 6-1. One of the teams fighting for the top spots as we head towards playoffs.
Yeah.
And things just looking so coordinated on defense and on the attack side. Rounds like that, closing things out really nicely. And anybody who was wondering, could Aspas pick up the Neon? Well, I think, take a look at that map. 19 and 10, top of the scoreboard on both maps today.
I'm pretty sure that was a narrative that we were having like in 2021 or something. I don't know. I mean, it feels like this guy can play anything, and he's willing to prove it on the big stage time and time again. But today, this team, they were more than the sum of their parts, and I think that's one thing that we were looking for from this squad. Tournament elite, perhaps, for them. Deeper and deeper into stage 2, they're top of the standings, looking to keep that spot.
And I think if they hadn't rebounded immediately coming off from Shanghai, the vibes in the team would have been at a low, but this is such a different squad. Immediately brushing off that performance, knuckling down, putting in the hard work, changing their compositions around without too much time to do so, and looking fabulous. So many different defensive setups here. I think this was very impressive, the defense side. Always chopping and changing. And of course, this is the first time that they brought it out, so 100 Thieves didn't really have a read on it. It is going to be more difficult when Lev bring it out again, the second time, third time. They need to continue to adapt. But today, this was straight back to the top kind of level that we expect, and honestly, that you demand from a team that has that level of talent on it.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't agree more. This team is the real deal right now. They're looking like they deserve that Super Team title. And saying that one quite a bit overall. I mean, listen, still plenty more matches to be played in the season, but it is, you know, getting steadily closer to that playoff spot as well. And every win does matter. With this win, 6-1, but
they're looking good.
Nice. Looking good for it. Let's send it down to Liz, though. She's waiting down by the stage, standing by for the Verizon post-match interview.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And I'm here with Tex Leviatán, a superstar performance every single time from you, Tex. But seriously, such an amazing job. I want to talk about something the casters, Brendan Sidjo, have been talking about a lot, and just kind of the difference from Shanghai to now. They kept talking about how Shanghai was not your best. You performed maybe not quite poorly in their own standards. Now they say you're completely different. Would you agree with that assessment?
I think I played pretty good in Shanghai, honestly, but I think as a team, we were missing some things that we really needed to add, and I think with this off time we've had since Shanghai that we're, you know, a way better team.
What have you added specifically that was missing?
Just some layers. I mean, we always had the overall fundamental just bases, but we needed extra things, you know, we needed layers, we needed to change things up a little bit. That's really it.
And I was talking to Comm, I ran to him in the hallway, and he was like talking about how confident he felt, and it got me thinking about how how do you guys feel? Like you as techs, how confident are you right now?
I would definitely say I'm the most confident I've ever been in my career right now. Even in Tier 2, I've never been this confident. And that's really, I think I just have a really good foundation around me. And I've been working a lot harder than I was in Tier 2. So I just feel really prepared and on point.
What from Tier 2 prepared you for now? Like what lessons have you taken from Tier 2 to here at VCT Americas?
We played on the stage in Brazil. It doesn't compare to, this stage or, the stage in Brazil, but I got some stage time. I had a good team, G2 now, who they really play together as a team. And I think I learned a lot from them, honestly, playing with them. So just how to be an overall complete player, really.
Again, our casters were talking about how, you're really starting to earn the title of a super team. Do you think you have earned that, or are you still working to earn that?
Yeah, we're definitely still working. I think we have the potential, but until we at least make champs and have a really good placing in champs, I wouldn't say that we really consider ourselves a super team. But we have superstar players for sure.
Absolutely.
Which is another reason why I feel like we're so confident. How can I not be confident? I have King to my left and Aspas to my right.
And you have you.
Yeah,
don't count yourself out, Tex. You have you. You did excellent. You always play excellent. Give it up for Tex, everyone. What an incredible performance today. Thank you so much. We're going to send it back to the post show where we have Comm with them.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Elizabeth, as well as Tex. Great to hear from him. Leviatán pick up the dub in, I would say, dominating fashion. Looking pretty damn good, taking out 100 Thieves. Oh, man, I just saw something flicker in the room here. In any case, so we got Comm joining us here. Brother, congratulations on the victory. You guys seem to have really found a new rhythm. You guys were looking pretty solid going into Shanghai, but it feels like coming out of it, it's like you guys are, I don't want to say a different team, but you could definitely see the mentality has changed.
Yeah, I think for sure, everyone feels super comfortable. Honestly, I feel like we flipped a switch to get on another level. We're really working really hard. Even with this short amount of time, we've really found our rhythm overall. Yeah. And honestly, I feel super comfortable.
Do you feel like Shanghai was a wake-up call for you guys?
I would say a little bit, because I feel like whenever we went into Shanghai, we didn't feel super prepared, or we weren't really playing our full game to what we were confident in.
Sure.
And then I think after Shanghai, we kind of found ourselves, and also I think everyone just feels a lot more confident overall.
So can you talk me through that process then, from losing the last match at Shanghai, realizing that you're going home probably much earlier than you would have wanted to at that tournament, to then coming back, having a coach change, and like you say, finding yourself now. Did you feel like there was a turning point where it clicked and you felt like you were that team again?
I can't pinpoint one thing, to be honest. But I mean, after that Shanghai loss, I was devastated. I mean, it's no slouch or no rumor or whatever that that I haven't been playing up to par to what I have been. But I would say how I feel right now is you'll see a lot more better performances from me. And honestly, mid-rounding and everything feels so awesome right now. It feels I really feel like this team has the same vibe as last year EG now. It's starting to get there, yeah.
What would you say is the current, I guess, identity of this team, right? I mean, because we see a lot of, Aspas go kill, or even with some of the structure you guys play. What would you pinpoint that as?
I would say we can play all three phases now. I feel confident, even if something goes terribly wrong, someone hits an insane shot or whatever, I feel all of us are on the same page on what we want to do. And that's credit to Ito and King and everyone, really working hard to get to our overall goal in making champions.
What's the vibe of the overall team like? Because I know previously it seemed like, especially earlier in the season, there was a phase where you guys were really figuring it out, especially those early losses to a team like Cloud9 early on. And then at Shanghai, I think that's when expectations were starting to go up. But now it seems like with this new switch, does it feel different within the energy of the team from those previous moments for Lev?
I would say 100%. I feel before in Shanghai, Split 1, whatever Kickoff, we would be a little bit more panicked, I would say, overall. But I feel now, at least in these first two games, we're just under control. We know exactly what's going to happen. We have really good reads and all that.
Yeah.
You mentioned your individual performance, and it looked a lot better today. How are you feeling? How's the overall confidence? And I feel like, besides just the team, did you feel like the criticism, Shanghai, all that was a wake-up call to kind of find your form again?
Honestly, the hate and stuff that I get, I mean, I try to just be as like humble and myself as possible. But also, like, I feel like I'm starting to get back to like Champions form. Like, I feel like I can go to Champions and be one of the best initiators in the world again, honestly.
Yeah, that's awesome, without a doubt. All right, we do have a question from the Twitch chat that came in here. Comm, do you think you can win Champs 2024 with this team compared to EG last year? Thank you, Soleil54, for that one. Yeah, so how do you feel?
I feel like we definitely can. I feel like we have all the tools, and you see, I have shooters on my team that can just go crazy every game. And, like, I don't know, we're starting to get to, like, the tactical depth, the layering, and everything.
You've been treated as some damn good duelists in your career as well.
Pretty good, even one half-pass.
Not bad.
Talk to me about playing in this patch with Ospas, because he's always been known for his Jet and his Raze. We haven't seen a lot of Neon. Last time was Tokyo, where, I mean, you were on a completely different team way back then with EG, and that didn't super well go Loud's way. Did he want to play Neon in the current form, or did you play the Agent because your team felt like it was the right read on Haven?
He definitely wanted to play it. I think whenever we saw the changes come in, we were like, okay, we need to, like, test these things out and stuff, and I think that's honestly kind of like it shifts towards like something we're comfortable playing, and like the util and all this stuff just like came naturally for all of us. So I think overall it just meshed with us super well.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right? You guys are pulling off some big wins here. You're on a great track, but let's go ahead and take a look at the standings. I'm going to put Comm to work for a moment. He can go ahead and break down some of these standings with me here. But yeah, so with that, Leviatán, you have continued to secure your spot at the top of the leaderboard, top of the standings. That has to feel good, though, huh? But the way the season started to where you guys are right now?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I feel like we're playing like pretty well. I think there's still like a big leap that we can make to like get to like #1 Champions like contender. But I think overall we're playing really well. I mean, we have a big one against EG coming up soon. It's a big one for me personally because
what do you make of EG right now? Because they seem to be a little bit of the talk of the town as far as compositions, risk taking, all that stuff. Jogamo.
Yeah. I mean, as you see, Jaw is doing Jaw things, and honestly, that's my boy, and I love him so much. But when it comes to like playing, like obviously, I'm gonna do my best to like settle him down a little bit, you know.
Boosty was talking about kind of building up a list of beating former teammates of his from EG. Do you feel like you're doing the same now? You're just beating Boosty. You play John Potter next week.
Yeah, I mean that's a big like Thanos godly. If I beat them, then I beat all my ex-teammates at that point, and they can't say anything.
You're ready to win champs again once you fill the glove.
Once
the Infinity Stones.
It's over, you know.
I absolutely love it, man. All right, well, guys, Super Week is going to be continuing forward. Hey, you want to try it, by the way? Say Super Week. Super Week. See, it's like that. I mean, I don't even know who does it. It's wild stuff.
Super Week.
Huh? Sometimes a little delayed, you know what I mean? It's almost as if it's a human having to hear it. All right, of course. We do have some great matches for y'all tomorrow. A couple NA showdowns, if you will. NRG facing off against G2 Esports. And then to close things out, it's going to be Sen City, the Sentinels, taking on the boys over in C9. Comm, what do you make of these two games that we're going to be checking out tomorrow?
I mean, it looks like big make-or-break games for like NRG and G2, I feel, because the standings are so close together right now. It's pretty bunched up in the middle, and I think anything can really happen at this point.
Yeah. Hey, Comm, always appreciate you having us here. Mimi, as always, my dog, you know, already
He is
know.
having us here. It was his choice to keep us around.
Yeah, that's very true. But that is going to do it for us here today. I won't be back, though. I got a nice little vacation. You got Geek Heavy tomorrow on the captain's chair, so looking forward to seeing what y'all cook up there. But that's going to do it for us here today, rather. Thank you so much. Appreciate you coming through as always. Shout out to Leviatán for the big, massive win. Loud picked up a dub as well. What a wild day it has been. But we will catch you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Take care, folks.
Thanks, Corbin.
Thank you.
It's a Brazilian showdown to open up day 2 of Super Week. Loud and MIBR take to the stage. They need to start their run and start it now. And MIBR, they got some fresh faces on that lineup.
Paul just got tagged again, and Tubi's confident on the swing.
I mean, he's going to get another one right here. Oh, my gosh.
The good teammate that he is, handing it over. The iBuy power race for Loud. Really nice swing from Sadak, taking matters into his own hands. Smooth steps, follow with the smoother shot. MIBR, really, you're starting to feel the struggle of them. That's how that ends? Sadak, 13-7 the way of Loud. Loud as Les gets 2 on the round. They thought it was safe. Trying to get up close and personal, but cannot. Rich is patient. Oh, but Pancata just, obliterates him. On the swing, Liazzi and Artsine clean it up. So MIBR will take Lotus.
The score was 13-11 for MIBR.
MIBR can drop their own smokes and then try to spam through it. That's exactly what Artsine does. MIBR, they've met resistance every step of the way here. There's just not enough time. They played it perfectly. They stuck to their guns. 25-0 as the Kings of Brazil stand tall.
100 Thieves taking on Leviatán. 100 Thieves looking to right the wrongs from week 1 of stage 2. And for Leviatán, they just want to keep on adding to the total. Keep on adding in the win column.
Bustio will be dropped. Same with Asuna. Has he done enough? Dizzy locked on. King is on top. 4. Nails it. 1 left to stand, and with Comm falling, a thrifty win. All the guns for the job. Still, Aspas will not be denied. Map 1, all sealed up here for Lev. That's a difficult one, though. Surely doesn't get out alive. Mazzino, cover and fire.
They feel like they have to make a play. The plant hasn't even been committed.
The bang finally commits. Cryo, he's done so much for this team, and finally, with the 4 kills in a round, ripping straight through him. 100 Thieves dominated, worked in the neutral. A 2-0 victory for Leviatán.